Have you ever wished your mouse could actually feel what you're doing on screen, like snapping a window or aligning objects perfectly? What if your cursor gave you physical feedback when you hover over important control? With the latest updates in Windows 11, Microsoft has introduced a new feature called Haptic Signals that does exactly that. In this video, I'll show you where to find it, how to turn it on, and how it feels in real-world use. This is one of those hidden features that many users don't even realize exists. Once you try it, it can completely change how responsive your system feels. By the end, you'll know if this feature is worth using on your setup. You'll also understand whether your current hardware supports it or not. Let's get started and test it step by step. What mouse haptic signals are? Haptic signals are small physical vibrations or feedback that your mouse can produce while interacting with elements on your screen. Instead of relying only on visual cues, your device gives you a tactile response to certain actions. For example, when you snap a window into place or align objects in design tools, you may feel a subtle vibration. This helps improve precision and makes interactions feel more responsive and intuitive. It adds another layer of feedback beyond what you see. It's a small feature, but it can make a noticeable difference, especially for users who work with layouts, presentations, or multitasking setups. Over time, this can even reduce errors and improve your workflow speed. Where to find the setting? To access this feature, open Settings on your Windows 11 PC. Then go to Bluetooth and Devices and select Mouse. Inside the mouse settings, look for an option called Haptic Signals. This is where Microsoft has placed the control for enabling or disabling haptic feedback. The exact location may vary slightly depending on your system version or updates. Some builds may show it under Advanced Settings. If you don't see this option, it may mean your device doesn't support haptics, or your system hasn't received the update yet. In that case, you may need to update Windows or check your device compatibility. Turn haptics on. Once you find the haptic signals option, simply toggle it on. This activates haptic feedback for supported actions across the system. The change usually applies instantly. After enabling it, your mouse will start responding to certain interactions with physical feedback. You don't need to restart your system in most cases. This makes it easy to test right away. Some devices may also offer additional customization, such as adjusting intensity or sensitivity, depending on the hardware. If available, experiment with these settings to find what feels best for you. Test it with window snapping. Now let's test it in a real scenario. Drag a window toward the edge of your screen to snap it into place. This is something most users do every day. As the window locks into position, you may feel a subtle vibration from your mouse. This confirms the action without needing to rely only on visual cues. It gives you a sense of completion. This is especially useful for multitasking, where you frequently arrange multiple windows across your screen. It can make your workflow feel smoother and more controlled. Test it in PowerPoint alignment. Another great example is inside Microsoft PowerPoint. Open a slide and start moving objects like text boxes or images. When you align objects perfectly, such as centering or matching edges, you may feel haptic feedback. This makes alignment faster and more precise. It reduces the need for repeated adjustments. For users who work with presentations regularly, this feature can improve workflow and save time. It also adds a more professional feel to the editing process. Hover and Resize example. You can also experience haptic feedback when hovering over certain UI elements, like the close button on a window. This makes interactions feel more responsive. Try resizing a window by dragging its edges. As you adjust the size, subtle feedback may trigger at key points. This helps guide your action. These small interactions add a layer of responsiveness that makes the system feel more interactive and dynamic. Over time, it can make your overall experience more intuitive. Who should use this feature? Haptic signals are especially useful for users who work with layouts, design tools, or multitasking environments. These users benefit the most from precision. If you frequently snap windows, align objects, or switch between tasks, this feature can improve precision and efficiency. It adds consistency to your actions. However, casual users may not notice a big difference, especially if they don't rely heavily on these actions. For them, it's more of an optional enhancement. Hardware compatibility. Important note. One important thing to understand is that haptic signals depend on your hardware. You need a compatible input device that includes haptic feedback capabilities. Without the right hardware, the setting may appear but won't produce any effect. If you're not feeling any feedback, it's likely due to hardware limitations rather than a software issue. In that case, upgrading your mouse may be required. If you have compatible hardware and regularly work with precise on-screen interactions, the answer is yes. Haptic signals add a subtle but useful layer of feedback that can improve accuracy and overall experience. To recap, go to Settings, enable haptic signals, and test it with window snapping, resizing, and tools like PowerPoint. Remember that hardware compatibility is key. It only takes a few minutes to set up. If this guide helped you discover something new in Windows 11, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Tech Fix Guides for more simple and practical tech tutorials. And in the comments, tell me, can you feel the difference with haptics in your device?